Hey everyone, and welcome to From the Depths. I'm Minty, and this is an overview video for my upcoming Cruiser Clash tournament. This is the Puddle Strider by myself. This is my entry into the tournament, and yes, I know it looks horrible. I was trying to go for like an insect-like looking thing, you know, with the pond skimmer bug thing. It came out okay, I guess, in that regard, but it looks like it was painted by a kindergartner, and I don't like the way it looks. I would be surprised if I got any points in the aesthetics competition at all, but we shall see. To start off, the two cannons on here are 166mm miniguns. They're 5 barrels. They fire... The forward cannon fires sabot rounds, while the rear cannon fires heat. Yeah, that's all they have to do. As you can see, they have a lot of recoil force. There's actually not a single recoil absorption thing on either of these guns, because they are of a size that I don't need them. It doesn't actually affect the trajectory of the ship any. The other weapons it has are these missiles, which each side is identical, but the only difference between these is that these ones have an EMP warhead and are set to 2000 thrust, and these ones are also set to 2000 thrust, but they have frag warheads. That setup is on both sides, and that's the only difference between them. And then the difference between those missile racks and this missile rack is the thrust is set to 4,000, and it has an extra fuel tank and one less fin, because they're already being launched in the general direction of their target. They don't need to maneuver as much. So I made them a bit faster for catching those quicker craft. It does have some rams on the front. I don't expect it to ram anything. This thing is set up to circle its enemy, as you'll see when I get to the combat demo. So that's unlikely to happen. I just thought it kind of looked neat, like it's like a toothy thing. As you can see, it's doing about 84.5 meters per second, and of course, as soon as I said that, it stopped, or slowed down anyway. That's actually not its full speed. Give me a moment, and if I summon in just a sledge to bring in some missiles. Oh, it summoned it and went over there. I don't think it's going to get to launch its missiles in time before the Yeah, it's dead. Okay, let's summon in like 3, just because I want to show when the missiles launch and they get close enough. It actually... Okay, it goes faster than... It used to go faster than that. I wonder what... Oh yeah, see, there it goes. There it goes. Picked up in speed a little bit. It's not a huge difference, but it does. That sudden shift in velocity I'm hoping will help it dodge missiles a little bit easier. Given that this thing used to be faster. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but it used to get up to almost 100. I must have added something, an increased drag somewhere, and I didn't check that. But oh well. That was a waste of time. I wanted to show that as if it was something interesting, and then it was just completely useless. Well, anyway. It has flares for defenses. It's got the shields. But the biggest defenses on this thing, honestly, are the multiple layers of spaced armor. It's got, you know, the layer of metal out here, then space, then another layer of metal, space, and then 2 more layers of metal. That's to try and help against things like heat rounds and squash warheads. It does make it a little bit weaker against other types of ammunition, or it can. It does. I found that space armor does help out a lot, because if you break through this outer layer, you haven't really gotten to anything important, and then you have to continue hitting in that exact same spot. I'm not sure why I'm doing that. You have to keep hitting that exact same spot to be able to get inside and hit, well, not right there, obviously you'll hit that engine, but say if you punch through right here, you'd have to then hit that exact same spot to be able to hit this to punch into yet another space, and then you have to drill through that exact same space in order to actually get inside the Citadel and blow anything up. So without an aim point selection, that's unlikely to happen. At least that's my theory anyway. I could be completely wrong. Who knows? The engines are 55. You know, they put out about 5,300 power at full load, 180 power per unit of fuel. They're pretty efficient engines. I did not design them myself. I got them off the workshop because I can't design engines. I've tried and tried and tried, and it's my kryptonite. We've got the smoke here, but it's very lightly smoked. It's really only meant to help disrupt laser-guided missile locks. Actual laser weapons will probably not really care about that smoke much, at least once it wears out, because it only lasts, because there will be a big gap between the coverage, and especially with how fast this thing goes and how much it turns, because it is set up to circle its enemy while it fights. It'll just outrun its smoke clouds, and lasers will just kind of have a field day. So I'm basically hoping that nobody will field any lasers, but we'll see. Let's see, did I? Oh, yeah, I did talk about those missiles. Talked about the engines, talked about the guns. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it for demonstrating what's inside this thing and how it's built and all of its little systems and everything. So, I guess I'll go ahead and go on to the combat demo here, which bring up a Kingstead. It's pretty much my go-to ship for just beating up on things. I really like how the missiles launch in that sort of fantail spread. I think that looks pretty cool. That was entirely an accident. I did not design that on purpose, but hey, serendipity, right? And yep, missiles going in, doing their thing, doing a little bit of damage. They don't do a whole lot. Missiles haven't done a lot of damage in quite some time. They're frankly a little bit underpowered, in my opinion, because they're very easy to thwart with flares and smoke. Like, if you just smoke your ship well and have a good flare system, you're basically immune to missiles. And then even if they do manage to sneak a hit in, they don't do a whole lot of damage when they do hit. So, I don't know. I still like them, though. I think they look cool. And they are, and when they do work, they can be significant. Like, but this, I tried to balance the Puddle Strider pretty evenly between offense and defense. The guns are the main DPS. Like, you can see they put out 250 rounds per minute when they're firing, when they're not in a reload cycle. You know, so that's a pretty good amount of DACA coming down range. And with those heat shells to get through shields and be able to damage internal components, possibly even take out the shields themselves, to let the Sabo get in and do its work, it does enough damage. It's not a whole lot. Definitely not an offense-focused craft, but it does its job. Oh, right, I'm in the regular designer instead of the cruiser clash map at the moment. So the ammunition processors on the Puddle Strider are actually not working at the moment because there's no metal on board. So the missile volley is actually constant. Like the Puddle Strider does not run out of ammo as long as all of its stuff is, all of its ammunition processors and ammo racks haven't been blown up, obviously. It never stops firing missiles or cannon shots. I mean, other than the reload cycle, because it does use belt feds. As you can see, it circles its enemy about 1 kilometer out if the enemy is stationary and or slow. That's what it likes to do. It just drives around in a circle. keeps constantly moving to throw off aim. So that, see, most of the cram shots from the Kingstead here have been missing. 2 of them connected there, but they were deflected by the shields. Engaging Magnet Boots, yay. So yeah, that's the Puddle Strider by me. Overall, I like the craft. I'm happy with how it came out. I don't like how it looks, but I can't paint. I'm not good at painting. I tried. It probably would have looked better if I just left it unpainted, but oh well. And with that, I'll just wish you guys all good. Nah, forget how to talk. Apparently, is what I'm actually going to do. With that, I'll wish you guys luck, and I'll see you out on the battlefield.